you could get if you were using a 3/8 drive by just removing this most of the way and then getting it, but I'm using a half, so I could not get the bar behind it. And this is your last mount for this alternator and AC mounting bracket. Okay, that's your last bolt. Try to leave as many in there as you can in place. You're then going to have to take this, wrestle it up and out, unless you want to pull this guy out first, which you can. But if not, you can just go like this, wrestle, and then turn it. And I'm going to leave all the bolts back in their mounts so we don't lose them. Okay, give me the bolt. You're showing them? Okay. So double check their size. Sure are the exact same size. This one and this one are interchangeable. Need a new gasket, probably. This water pump gasket too. You guys probably need a water gas pump it or some RTV sealant. I think I might just use RTV on here. They're 9/16 and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 bolts. These are important to keep in the same hole. Some of them are longer and shorter. Make sure you have some PB blast, maybe a little heat. Some of these bolts are tight because you use the RTV on the water pump and it can get on the threads of the bolts when you're putting them on. And then this guy right here, don't use a ratchet wrench to get it all the way out because now I'm going to have to wrestle it in a second and mess around with it. I should have stopped, pulled my wrench off because now it doesn't want to go because it's caught. It only ratchets one way. So, wait, that will work right there. Won't it? Yeah, wait. No, hold on, I'll do this. This is why I told you one of the big black open 20 quart. Because once you start taking this stuff off, it's just going to start dripping out of all the sides under this and the timing chain cover and make a mess. So that's why you need this and the bucket. Alright? Okay, in case you're an idiot like me, if you lift this up once it gets loose enough, since it is ratcheting, you can then finger turn it out over the pulley and get it out of there. But the problem, all right, so then you got this top 2 clamps you need to remove. This one here, where the engine recirculation of the water pump, and then you got the other one that goes to the heater core. Be very careful around this. Take it further back, this hose can get torn. And then you're going to take your channel locks again, put them on a loose setting. It's just loose like this. Break the free of the hose, and you're going to be leaking now. See, the water pump is disconnected. Okay, break that free, and then you can slide this off, which is going to also leak. And then as you take this guy here, which you have to do the same thing, loose setting so you don't damage the hose, and just kind of gently rock back and forth so you can break it free without tearing it. See that?
Does that hose have to come off too?
What hose?
The bottom one.
No, this one's already connected from the part. Did you see where that bolt went?
Yeah, it fell into the thing,
I see it. Yep, I see it. We're going to need that bolt. That is the bottom one. I leave them on here as long as I can to remember this long, this long, this long, this long, short, short. The reason you don't want to mess it up, try to put a long one in here. First off, this one will just go right out the back. But this one here and here, don't go out the back. And you can go right into your timing chain and cause a problem, and they're going to be sticking out in front of your belt and pulley. Like it here, you can slowly take this off. Like I said, try to remember the placement for your water pump bolts. I'm going to leave them in so we don't have this problem. Manually remove these here. Good Lord. Okay. So we got that. And then we got that. Now it's loose. I'm going to take this guy off first. And let it get loose enough so use your on your light setting and slowly work its way out. If you can replace these. This hose is about 3 feet long. This is a heater core to water pump hose. It's hard to find places. You just need to take it all off usually and go up there and have them cut to length, and it goes here and wraps around over there, and it goes right in to your heater core back there, right above the engine back there. Okay, here's your water pump. My water pump is actually pretty good. The suckiest part of this is I got blue RTV, and it looks like there was a gasket. So I'm gonna have to go get a water pump gasket because this one is gonna be roasted now. And on that side, it's not bad, so that's nice. But this side of the water pump, I'm gonna have to take this and scrape it and wire brush it all down. Depending on what the gas costs, I might just buy a new water pump because that's annoying. And after you get it loose, guess what? You get to slide that bolt in and remove your tool. And as you can see the RTV? That's why some of the bolts were fighting. The RTV was there. Here's your main problem when you have leakage on your timing cover. This bolt goes right into the timing chain cover where the coolant goes. Right here, and this one does a little too. There's a passage. When I pull it off, I'll show you, and it goes right through the passage, so it ends up leaking. That's why it's all pouring out of there. All right, pull this out of here, and then to our next step. So you're gonna need a harmonic balancer puller, like I showed you. I bought this one off Amazon, Powerbuilt Kit 12. Some are gonna need this. I'm gonna need this guy right here. I'll show you now. So this kit is if you have a bunch of bolts, you put them on, they fill in, you drill these bolts in with the heads. You put this in the middle right here, and then it forces itself off. Mine is going to be different, and it is going to be just the all these parts have spots that they fell out of when I opened it. The big guy, do you see where he goes? In shipping, and that goes there. I'm using the one style like this, and I'll show you how it works, because mine is just one big nut that I have to use on there. So I'm gonna show you how this is. What you're gonna need is a 1 1/4 socket or a 32 millimeter, and an electric impact is going to save your life if you got an air, use it, but if not, you're going to hate life. Okay, you're going to take this off. See all these? It's coming out. You're gonna get the one that fits that size, and you're gonna use this, and you're gonna force it down in there, and it's gonna slowly pull the harmonic balancer off of the shaft. All right, so the puller we bought is not the right one. We needed the 3-jaw puller. It told me I needed the one with the bolts. It was incorrect. So we had to take a long 3-jaw puller, and this is a impact socket, and put it on top of the bolt. Screw the bolt halfway out, and then remove it, and it's slowly coming. This used to be under there. Now I have to back the bolt out a little bit more and redo it, and I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I'm having to hold this with the bolt and keep it so it doesn't turn, and even at the angle, as you can see, it's slowly pulling the balancer off. Okay, ready? Nope, we did not. We were close. Okay, hand me that part that fell down.
Where is that?
Like I said, I put that in there, and I put it in. Let me show them. So, bring the puller over here. So the puller is a 3-jaw. They said it was the kind where you put it. Now you could have found bolts on the 3-jaw and screwed them on behind here and pulled it out with washers, but that was a hassle. So we got the 3-jaw. This one was too long. The short ones were gone. So since they were gone, we took a 10 millimeter, and we put the tip just in there, just the tip, used it as extension on the top, and as you see, look, hold on, see the 10 millimeter fits perfect in the grooves. That's how we got it off. So sometimes it's just what you got to do. If not, we had to wait for the part to come in, and we also had to use this because when it first started, this is a 1 1/4. If you have a regular wrench, you'd be okay. I had to hold the bolt because as we were spinning, it was tightening. Once it got loose, it stopped doing that though. All right, everybody, so we're to the next step. We are removing the timing chain cover. So we have a 9/16 bolt right here. I already loosened it. You see right here. You have another one right here.
Hang on, Dick.
Okay. And then you got another one right below it. Okay. And then we have this one, which you need a deep well, which I'm going to grab because it's a stud. And then we have one here that's under, and one here that's under. I think they're a different size. I'm going to go check real quick. I think it's a half. So it's the half. Get under and double check these bottom two. These ones connect to the oil pan. Okay, the oil drain pan, the first 2 bolts right here. And it's a very tight fit. You gotta get in here at this angle. And then, yeah, and they're a 1/2 inch like I thought. It's actually loose enough that I can just do it with my hand now. with the Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Above? Okay.
Well, I'm down with you.
Okay, you should show them up there with the bolt list, but that's okay.
I mean, they can see it.
Alright, so here it is. Last finger, make sure you get the bolt and the lock washer. I'm gonna set it right there until I get up. There's a second one on this side. You gotta watch out with these lines. They go to your transmission coolant lines. You don't want to break them. They go right through here, so you need a short weld and an extension. If not, this the frame cross member gets in your way. And same thing here. Once you get it loose enough, put the extension on, turn it with your fingers. You can go ahead if you want. It's even more work though. Get an oil pan gasket and drop your oil pan while we're in here and change that gasket. I'm not doing that. I think I may do it in the future though. It does leak on mine. It's not horrible, but it leaks. Alright, so there's those two, and then we're going to go back up top and get those. 16ths for the stud. I get a deep well. Bring that guy all the way out. Oh, still too tight. Okay, it's a double stud like that. You remember the longer stud goes in, shorter one's out. Okay, and then we have, you can leave that deep well on since you're, oh yeah, get that. Make sure you got your bucket or drain cleaned in.
Oh, it's all over the
pipe. It's gonna be a mess. That's just how it is.
Delicious.
That's what this big one is for. Is it on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to tell you that bolt is the one that goes through right through the passage. So tons of stuff coming out.
Sour Gatorade, green apple.
Make sure you remember which one's which. Don't lose them. You might see it's already starting to separate right there. There's two more bolts. It looks like this has RTV in there, red. I'm gonna put ultra black back on. But it may not want to come off. You might have to slowly pull it away, and then we'll have to chisel it and wire brush it away. That's why I got this big stupid pan, because of the mess. Okay. Then you got these last two, which have this
I'm
bracket.
going over behind.
They have a bracket that holds your transmission coolant lines, so be gentle with this. Don't mess up the bracket. And they are a stud system as well, like the other one. Well, one of them is. So you're gonna have to remove this first one.
Okay.
Be very gentle here. Removing this. It's been on for a long time. Don't rust. It's very
rusty and
rusty and thing. And then what we're gonna have is two studs that we're gonna have to remove.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you, get some old towels. If you have a mechanics like drape blanket, those are amazing, because the top of this radiator is sharp and it's gonna hurt it's gonna, no matter what you do, your muscles are gonna hurt after doing this work. But it's gonna cut up under your under boobies and stuff, and you're gonna be unhappy. Here's the two studs. They are the same length, so you're good. But remember, the long ones go in, short side goes out.
That's what she said. Ow. I kicked the chair. I'm smart.
Alright, that drained itself pretty good, so we should be alright. We're going to take this here. As you can see, it's actually...
Oh, you can almost take it off by hand.
There's going to be a lot of coolant dumping. So, see this hole? This hole is a coolant. Right here and here, where the coolant travels through, it goes right through into the water pump. This bolt and this bolt, it kind of starts leaking right there, and that's why it leaks up and out when the gasket goes away.
Is that the timing chain?
That's the timing chain. That is a single. We are going to a double tooth. Be very careful. That is the oil hand gasket. You do not want that to rip.
Wait, what?
This right
Wait,
here.
what?
This gasket for the oil pan.
The orange thing?
Yeah, it's like a main seal. Okay. Careful with that. As you can see, my chain is pretty tight. It's a little loose here, but I got a new one, so we're gonna be good. But it's actually not as bad as you think, but that is a lot of slack. You don't want that much. And then I'll show you how we're gonna pop this off. There's a key. I'm gonna pull that and then do that.
And then we'll start putting it back.
And put everything back together, okay? All right, we got this. I'm gonna get my chisel out, which I put in this bucket of mess that we're working with.
Just every tool in existence.
Here. And we're gonna go to town on cleaning all this off, and then I'm gonna wire brush it away, clean it up. Here is your other front main seal, which we're gonna push out and put the new one in while it's off here. It came with the gasket kit. But yeah, you just wanna go on here.
And just scrape all the gunk.
Gently scrape it away. See, you got this stuff because it leaked a little there down into these two spots. See, that's where it leaked too. So I had multiple leaks coming off this time chain cover. And just get to work on it, and we'll be back in a minute. Everybody, we're going with the Koya's double tooth chain heavy duty instead of the single tooth, which is already there. What you're going to need is a gear puller for the bottom
That.
one. I'm hoping that one's the big one because up top mine will not work. This one won't work for that. Okay, so what we did here.
Hang on. On.
Right. So this one here is a 5/8 bolt on the timing chain sprocket. And move this. And usually this one will pop off. You don't have to use a puller.
So
Just go
close.
like this, real good, slow.
Don't break anything.
There you go. And you are free. And then take the chain. Okay, let's pause that.
You're on.
This is the crankshaft sprocket. All right, and it's usually, I didn't even need the puller.
That
If I
came
was
off
gonna-
easy.
Sometimes, it might help me right here. It's fighting me right on the end of the keyway. But it's almost there.
You got it most of the way.
So I might have to stick a socket right here. Get this to do there. And we're gonna pull that off. So we're
Here, back.
gonna put the crankshaft bolt back in. It holds the harmonic balancer on. We're gonna use that for a stabilizing so I can get a pull on it. So
Is that the bolt you were using like 2 days ago?
yeah, it's the one that when you pulled the harmonic balancer with the puller. Okay. So, as far as this one's back out on hand, so I need to get this on there, in there further. All you gotta do is pop it just a little bit. Alright. Come on.
A little more.
I gotta get a tool. Be right back, guys. Every pull is gonna be a little different. This one is a 1/2 inch. You need a 1/2 inch socket or wrench. Get this like that and back it down some. Okay, that's as far as this guy wants to go. Barely, just good enough. Okay. So now what we're gonna do. Now we got that bull's head there. We're gonna hold this tight. And there you go. That's it. You may need a lot more pulling. Sometimes the crankshaft sprocket is on there worse. Mine was not bad. And then we have the fun part of being careful. You got to try to keep them in a towel. You don't want this coolant going into your oil pan. So,
We can use the wire brush down there also.
You probably want to change your oil after this because of the
Coolant.
coolant that will get into the oil pan. Okay, make it all frothy and unhappy. Okay, get the wire brush, go to town, chisel, and then this is gonna be your favorite thing in this situation. It's gonna save your life. Having these, this package of different wire brushes to put in your drill, because it takes forever to do this by hand or to do this guy. Watch. So, you get this here, you barely hit it, and you get all that.
Gunk.
Yeah, don't push down. You don't want to scour up the metal. You just want to Slightly take off all that debris. And this will save you an hour or more of trying to do it by hand with one of these, you know.
Like a toothbrush.
Yeah, I mean, these work, and this one's actually going okay, but you're going to be here forever with this and this, trying to get all the stuff out like that. Whereas the wire brush, I'm just going to get in here and take care of that. Man, that timing chain cover's roasted. I think we're getting a new timing chain cover, people. See
Oh
this?
my, hang on.
This is going to leak no matter what I do.
Yeah, we gotta get a new
You
one.
see that? Let's see that. Now I got the debris away. There's no way this will not leak. So that's fun for your day. If you have this, I'm gonna have to go look, see how much difference in Amazon or on O'Reilly. So I'll be back when we get off the phone. I'm gonna use the phone for checking it up. I kind of showed y'all, but as you can see, it pitted and is gone. This is where it was leaking right up top when it was on like this. That's where all the leak was coming out of. So we got a new timing chain cover. We got the normal one off Amazon. It's like 180 bucks. It's come with new gaskets and stuff. I already got the Felpro. Let's see if we're gonna return them. I don't know if I can. But yeah, we're gonna replace this, get a new one, because if not, no matter what I do, we'd have to put like 10 tons of RTV to try to make this seal, and I don't think it would work. So there we go, new one coming. The new one is gonna have a problem. There's an extra hole here. I'm gonna have to find a plug for it. That's what everybody said. So here we go, fun. But hey, at least I don't have to scrape this thing clean now. We do still have to scrape this though. So get under here. I'll take this guy.
Delicious.
And get as much of that can with this off first. And then we're going to, where's my socket? Set this here. Like I said, I'm going to set this, and then you're going to want to change your oil afterwards because some of that coolant ended up inside there when you removed. That's what the front main seal is supposed to stop, but it ain't doing that when you're like this. So, yeah. Merry Christmas. We're going to clean this up. I'm going to do the brush like I was doing, and then I'm going to do the drill. And then we'll be back tomorrow because we got to wait for that part to get delivered. So, happy day. And this is what working on cars is like sometimes, and it can suck. Alright? Alright, everybody. So, here we go. We're going to get back to putting everything together. I got a new time chain cover. Hand me that time chain cover, would you? Alright, everybody. So, here's the new time chain cover. This is the universal one. I'm about to line. I'm going to put a link for you. So, it comes off Jeeps and Dodges, and it has an extra hole here that you don't have right below the water pump. So what I used was, amazingly, couldn't find one anywhere, Home Depot, Lowe's, Farm and Home, Handyman, nobody had it. It ended up being 1/2 inch by 20 and exactly the size you need. Guess what? The oil drain plug for this truck, a 1/2 inch by 20, 090-052 CD. This is the oil drain plug for this truck, and I realized recently I changed under here that it was leaking. I need a new oil plug anyway, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna go check this out and just see. Guess what? It's it. And then you get a little gasket that helps so the plug, it doesn't leak, just like an oil drain, a squish one. Look at it. It's perfect. It stops the thread right in there and then goes there. So what you're going to do though is put some RTV on it. I'm going to put the black. I'm going to go real light just as an extra sealant because it's anti-corrosive, so it should hold up against coolant. You can do blue. I got blue, which is lighter. And red is for high temp, but the ultra black is more corrosive resistant, which this stuff comes through. But here we go. We're going to the good part. So as you can see, I also switched from the original one tooth design to a Plas 2-tooth chain, dual chain. Say it right like that. Heavy duty. When you get it, these are smaller than these. But no, they're bigger. They're bigger. This is bigger than these teeth. But the reason it is these sit down further in the chain. See how it sits all the way in there? With this old one, because of the single tooth setup, this is a thick chain, and it doesn't sit all the way down. So it actually takes up much space. They're the exact same size when you put the chains on. This is a thinner like chain because it's dual and sits down in there. Nice thing about the timing on these, easy peasy, piece cake. if you set it up when you got done to where they were both facing each other, where the dot and the dot, there's little divots. See that little divot right there? I'm actually going to re-clean these before we get going. They're filthy for me messing with them so much. Alright, so it's best because of how these are set up. It's very tight. You're going to want to put them on ahead of time and slowly slip them in together. Like I was saying, make sure the dots are both pointing up. So you got that one there, and then this dot is here. So take this one and set it downwards.
That one's pointing down, then they're not both pointing up.
You're pointing at each other. Sorry guys, pointing at each other. So they're going to be like that when you put them in, right at each other. You'll see, I have it set up. And once you have it set up, the keyways are going to make you go where you need to be, okay? So that keyway's on. There you go. I'm going to slide it. And then this keyway should be set up in the same spot.
You're not on that bottom one anymore?
Yeah, no, yeah, they're both on. Oh, off the chain, I get your son. Let's wrestle it again. It's gonna fight you a little. It's you gotta get them just right. You get these in there and you just flatly push them on, and then you have bolts that are gonna hold everything in place. Alright, so we'll be back in a few after I get this cleaned all the way up and get my next parts out. After you get it all the way set, as you can see, straight down, straight up. That is your timing. That's it. It's so easy. Much better than timing light and adjusting things. There's a chain tensioner, but look, see this? See how tight that is? If you remember when I did it, what do you think I had?
I didn't see it.
Okay, I had a lot of slack. Like it was a lot. It moved way out. Okay, we'll get the bolts, put everything, start putting it back together, and we're happy. Remember what I said? You have to drain your oil pan. This coolant will go down in your oil pan after this pops open because of these seals. Pop free. Okay. All right, everybody. So what you're gonna need to do is get some Loctite for this. I'm using blue. I have red, but I'm just using blue. Don't go too overboard. Get it in there, rub it around. Okay, and you're gonna need your torque foot pounds, which is good because if it was the other one, it was the inches. I would say foot anyway. Because if y'all watch my channel, I always say the foot pounds. I don't know why. So it's just 50 foot-pounds we're going with this guy. All right. Now put it in by hand as far as you can. See you in a second. We got it set for 50 foot-pounds already. This is a 5/8 socket. I don't got a lot of room here. So lift it off. All right, there we go, 50 foot-pounds. All right, and we'll get some engine oil. I'm gonna cover this chain a little bit so it happens. All right, I'm just gonna pour it on here and rub it with my fingers all over. This is because, oops, I did not want to drop as much. You do not want to run the sprocket when you first start. There won't be any oil because you've done this through the engine. So you want it to be lubed when the starts. You don't want it to be like doop doop doop. And chipping stuff, so just do that. Cover it, it should be good. It's going to drip around. It should cover everything good. I'll show you guys how to check the tightening. This is a brand new chain. See that? No slack. Always will be slack in. They always can go in a little because of that, but see that? No slack.